The question tonight is, how does Malaysia airline MH17 linked to all of this? Should be interested to know? I think this is current news. Everyone's interested. But I haven't heard a lot of people link it to Bible prophecy, and my mind's always churning on this, and I've been praying about it, and I think there's some interesting correlations. Let's review what happened. On the 17th of July, 2014, a plane left the Netherlands at 6:15 a.m., never made it to its destination of Kuala Lumpur. At 9:20 a.m., it lost contact with everybody because it was shot down. And we now know that it was shot down by a Russian Buk missile from pro-Russian Ukrainian separatists. The way the Buk missile works is it's got a 70-kilogram warhead on it. That's the tip of it. And it doesn't actually hit the plane. It explodes within about 20 meters of the plane. And then the shrapnels get sent out. And then, of course, it hits the fuel tanks. And then the fuel tanks explode and cause critical damage. Okay, so for all the people who are under the impression that sitting by the wings of the airplane is the safest place, it's not true. That's where all the fuel is. So it is a tragedy, affected Australia. Here's the death toll. MH17 victims, 193 Dutch, 43 Malaysians, 27 Australians. You'll get some different figures because we had a memorial recently, and that's only because some people hold dual citizenship. Some people who aren't Australians live in Australia. So be that as it may, 27 Australians died, 12 Indonesians, 10 Brits, 4 Germans, 4 Belgians, 3 Filipinos, 1 Canadian, 1 New Zealander. Right? Total of 298 people perished because of this terrorist act. So how is MH17 linked to end-time prophecy? Well, pro-Russian separatists using Russian weapons shot down MH17 because Russia invaded Crimea. Because Putin was testing Obama's weakness. Because Obama did nothing about Syria when it crossed the so-called red line. So how is it going to happen in real life? This is revelation in real life. Obama came in on a motto of hope and change. And a lot of the people, Christians and Republicans who don't like Obama, think he's failed. But actually, he has succeeded. If you are on his side, he has succeeded in change because he has weakened America and he's made America anti-Christian. So he has fully succeeded. Whoever put him in there, he has succeeded in the change. This leads to the red horse, which is Syria being destroyed, the Ukraine civil war, the ISIS invasion, and the dictators of the world being emboldened because of the red line that was drawn and crossed by Syria. Leads to the black horse, which is hyperinflation. The prices of food and oil going up, which is what we would call the global financial crisis 2. Right? And this is due, we don't know for sure, but based on the numbers. If you look in my book, The Divine Code, we talk about the meaning of numbers and patterns. And it looks like there is a global financial crisis due probably towards the last quarter of 2015. Could happen before, but due in 2015. Let's make it a little bit more leeway. 2015. And then that will lead to the green horse, which is more deaths, more beheadings, and then we're waiting for World War III. And we've got the flag of Turkey there. I'm giving you some hints there. So what's going on? World War I and World War II failed to bring about the change that the elite wants. If there is really an elite, people who are powerful, who have a lot of money, there is a change that they want to occur, which is global bank, global currency, global taxation, and global military. Now, the First World War accomplished the League of Nations, which then failed. So then the Second World War came, and then we couldn't get the global banking to work. We didn't get the global currency. We got the United Nations, which is pretty impotent. Sits there and votes on resolution after resolution and does very little. So we haven't really succeeded, if we are the elite, in bringing about a total slavery, enslavement of the human population, which you need to control currency. You need to make everyone a debtor to you. That's how you enrich yourself and impoverish other people. And so, a global problem is needed to bring a global solution. A global problem has to be created so that all the people in the world will be very happy when a global solution is introduced. So you can't introduce the League of Nations without World War I. You can't introduce the United Nations without World War II. You can't introduce this whatever last piece that's missing without a World War III. And so for anyone that doubts it, World War III and the global financial crisis too are necessary and inevitable. They have to come. And MH17 is simply a casualty of this change. There is a change brewing. And local problems need to become globalized so that everybody cares and everybody would accept giving up a little bit more of their freedom, giving up a little bit more of their rights, giving up a little bit more of their money. All right, let's close with real practical application. This is the part I want you to really, really open your heart and apply. There is a response from businessmen to the global financial destruction predicted in the book of Revelation. Would you care to see it? Revelation 18, verses 15 to 19. We're advancing a little bit in the timeline, but here is the response from businessmen. Verse 15. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. People will be depressed about what's going to happen to their money. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that the ships in the seas, by reason of her costliness, which is great wealth in another translation, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. So what's the response? People don't say, the Bible is true. Now I want to serve Jesus. Oh, Bible prophecy is happening. Now I want to